Welcome to season 4. I was going to say season 2 there. No, that was years ago. Actually, last year. Season 4 of ECig 101. So, season 1, we looked at starter kits, pod kits, giving up smoking, moving on to vaping, how to do it, how easy it can actually be. Season 2 was the one step up from there. We started looking at what was essentially stock oil sub-ohm tank kits. The more advanced style of vaping, where you do stuff like this. Stuff like that, which you don't get to do with pod kits. Season 3, which was finished at the end of last year from what I remember, we were looking at e-liquids, not just the store-bought e-liquids like, not just the store-bought e-liquids like this that you can get off the shelf of most of your vape shops up and down the country, but we also dabbled in do-it-yourself, making your own e-liquids. Now, especially with the way that the current trend is going with government lack of support for vaping, those last 2 episodes of the last season of ECig 101 might be very important in a couple of years' time, but that was season 3. Season 4, what this intro is all about, is the last of the major seasons. Now, there is going to be a season 5, but season 5 is going to be 1 hour long specials focusing on specific aspects of the previous 4 seasons, but season 4 is going to be about what some class as the hobbyist side of vaping. It's not the advanced side of vaping, because that's like high-powered box mods, stock oil, sub-ohm tanks, direct-to-lung vaping, that kind of thing. Hobbyist side, what a lot of people call the hobbyist side of vaping, is where you dabble into more of the technical aspects. Rebuildable tanks, which is what I'm using right now with an empty tank. Rebuildable dripping atomizers. Squonk mods. What the hell does squonk mean? More about that later on in the series. Squonk mods, mechanical mods, where there's no electronics inside and the battery's got a direct connection to your atomizer tank. That kind of stuff. It's going to be the much more technical, heavier on detail aspects of the hobbyist side of vaping. This is going to be the longest season out of all 4 of them. There's going to be something like 17. I'm not quite sure about the last block, but right now it's looking like 18 episodes for season 4. Now, at roughly speaking, although this week it's going to be the introduction and episode 1 going up, so at the beginning of each of the 3 blocks, it's an intro to the block plus the first episode, but this is going to run for somewhere close to 15 weeks. 15 weeks. Each new episode is going to be uploaded either on a Friday or on a Saturday. And of course, if you're a member of Patreon, Subscribestar, or the YouTube members, you get a preview of the block, like the entire block run of that of those 6 or 7 episodes before they actually go live on YouTube. So we're going to be covering most but not all aspects of advanced hobbyist vaping. As a footnote, just in case you already are using kits like this with rebuildable tanks, rebuildable drippers, you're already using a borrow tank device, you're already using a mech, you're already using a squonker, season 4 is not going to be for you, just as was the case for season 3. If you already know about e-liquid, it was pointless watching season 3. The same with season 2. If you're already using a stock oil sub-ohm tank kit, it was pointless watching that season. And as for season 1, if you're already a vapor, it was pointless watching season 1. The whole premise of ECig 101, each of the 4 seasons, as an introduction to that season, I'm taking this from the premise of number 1, someone who's never used a rebuildable, never. They're on their stock oil sub-ohm tank kits. They've never rebuilt a coil. They've never used a dripper. They've never used a rebuildable tank. Number 2, someone who's never used a mechanical. Number 3, someone who's never used a squonker. And number 4, someone who's never used some of the much more higher powered devices devices like some of those Steam Crave fellas that are currently resting on that shelf. This is essentially the beginner season for people that have never ever dabbled in rebuildables. So yeah, if you've never tried a rebuildable, if you've never vaped on a rebuildable tank, if you don't even know what the hell that means, keep watching because season 1 is up next. That's it from me, and enjoy the rest of season 4.